if you engaged in this type of dialogue, and I asked you, let's say you were two people in the room, and one person is talking, the other person is listening, and I would ask the listener to summarize what the speaker said. Something interesting happens all the time. It's just foolproof every time. It's just predictable. If I ask the listener to summarize, repeat, restate, paraphrase, rephrase what this speaker said, they would have a huge difficulty doing so. Even though it's just kind of silly and kind of parroting, like some people say, "Are you sure?" And just gonna say what this person said. Yes, but they can't do it. And you ask them, "Well, why can't you do it?" Because they don't remember. They don't remember. This is the most amazing phenomenon I have seen. And when you dig deeper into this, when the speaker is talking, the listener is listening to the inner processes as they are triggered in response to what the speaker is saying. So, for instance, the speaker may say something like, "I feel you don't understand my anxiety, where it comes from. You usually belittle me. If I try to, talk to you about my worries, you just are dismissive and skip over it and shut the door on me and leave the room, and you don't want to even be interested, blah, 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 blah," right? So now the listener is hearing what? They're not really hearing these words and the actual, depiction of what is happening in the inner world of the speaker. The listener is hearing, "I am no good. I'm being criticized. I am not good enough. I made a mistake and this person is pointing it out. They are not happy with me. They are complaining about my behavior. What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? Why are they not more, appreciative of all the sacrifice I do in this relationship?" That's what they're listening to. They're not actually paying attention. They're kind of hearing. They're kind of, observant and like a soundboard. Yes, the words are landing here, but the listener is actually, all this inner attention is to inner emotions, inner processes that are happening. And right there, what you have is a beginning of a clash coming up, because again, there's not much of an actual communication and conversation. I mean, effective communication. There is some communication conversation, but it's completely ineffective because everything is triggering deep-rooted, painful emotions, everything. And then as soon as, and this is one of the other subconscious processes that happen, is that one person feels criticized, whether it's happening intentionally or not, consciously or not, doesn't matter. If the subjective experience of a person is being criticized or attacked or dismissed or rejected or invalidated, there is a very predictable automatic human response that pops up, and that's defense. Every human being, guaranteed, I guarantee that, there's no other way, every human being defends against these perceived criticism, attack, rejection, etc. That doesn't even have to happen on the side of the listener. See, the talker can be talking and the listener is listening, and then suddenly there's like a non-verbal message that's being sent. Eye rolling, shifting your head, sigh, what else? Like looking down or frowning. All those messages can be perceived, even by the talker who is talking, as I am being dismissed, I'm being invalidated, I'm being not appreciated. So, no, both we have two people, and that's the chaotic nature that happens within relationships. Now we have two people who started with all their anxiety and anticipation, and then they kind of sink deeper into their pain-oriented experience, and then on top of that they feel even more attacked and criticized. So this whole defense comes up and then just catapults both parties even further into their painful self, painful aspect of their relationship. And so, as you see, I wanted to mention that this whole thing is a process. If the process is that the person is seeking agreement, they go into a room, sit down with the other person, and they need agreement, they end up becoming two talkers to each other. They don't engage in the good listening. They're just blurting out, almost vomiting, emotional vomiting, everything that's inside, and they expect to be understood and heard. And then they feel criticized and attacked and invalidated, and it escalates from there. And ultimately, you end up with somebody giving up or violence. So, or complete disengagement. There's the three options. Either people walk away from another, throw in the towel and say, I'm done. Boom, I'm out. So disengagement. Or one person, for whatever need that they have, a lot of times they're situational components, shared resources that cannot be separated from, shared responsibilities with kids or finances, etc. Still emotional connection or need, or again, and a lot of times, whether that's truly the case or not, a feeling of love that people say, I still love this person, and so forth. So many reasons that a full disengagement doesn't happen. But one person will have to capitulate. There's no other way to solve this conundrum, except with one person kind of crumbling, into almost like a subsistent organism, but not happy, and the other person agitated, overpowering organism and not happy, and then they just kind of create this unified dysfunctional relationship that lasts for whatever time until it cannot be maintained. Or the third option is nobody is giving in, nobody is moving away, boom, and there you have violence. So as I mentioned, those processes need to be changed. We need to be vigilant about them and setting the stage right from the get-go. So when we change our mindset, we engage in the actual role-taking, the role of a listener, the role of a talker, and then we have to certainly finesse our way through the details and nuances of this discussion and communication. Then something else happens through that Socratic questioning, refraining from criticism. Then gradually we actually create something that within what they call it polyvagal system of social engagement within the neurobiological field of psychology, that as a result of this healthy engagement and understanding between two people and feeling really understood, because remember, the goal of that Socratic questioning that I mentioned earlier is to unfold these layers one after other to get to the bottom line of where a person can completely be vulnerable and safe and understood and contained at the same time by their partner. Then a very beautiful and gratifying sense of security and contentment and grounding sets in, where everything will be fine. You will be in a state where you feel, yeah, we can disagree with one another, but so what? It doesn't matter. We come to an understanding. We are looking at one thing differently, and I know exactly why.